What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Birdies and Banter, episode number 4, coming to you live from,
Parts unknown.
yeah,
Hollister, California, and Salinas, California. You guys might
Salinas.
notice. You guys might know this as the 831.
Wow, good. This is episode number 4. The Masters was this last weekend. Crazy. It's only Monday. I feel like the Masters was going on forever. Honestly, that final round. We'll talk about, what happened, our thoughts, how we felt in the moment, because I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little teary-eyed to see Rory win. Spoiler, Rory won. And we'll go through the picks, how we did, everyone that missed the cut, a couple storylines that came from the Masters, and maybe a look ahead to the RBC Heritage, which is this week. A signature event
Yeah,
coming from
I
the
mean,
Masters. So,
yeah, that was some easy finish, huh? I kind of drew it up like that. I knew there was gonna be some drama. Who cares, man? We knew it was gonna be high drama. That's the Masters tournament, baby. And I think we were due for a playoff. We had one first time in 8 years. It involved Justin Rose, and then Justin Rose was on this one for two of the greatest playoffs I think in Masters tournament history. 2017 with Sergio, once and for all, like Jim Nance said, and then this one. I thought it was going to be Grand Slam glory, and it went with the McIlroy masterpiece, which I get it. You're looking at the overall
yeah.
career of Mr. McIlroy.
I don't know if you heard that
Yeah.
Jim Nance was on the Dan Patrick show,
Yes.
and Dan Patrick was like, "You got to go glory for Rory," and I
Yeah.
was waiting. I was like, "Is he gonna pull it out?" But he
Yeah. I
didn't.
guess
So
it was after the third hole. He said, "Oh, this could be glory for Rory."
okay, so you did get in there.
What I rewatched the turn round yes last night. So,
Okay.
but yeah, what a roller coaster of emotions that back nine was.
Yeah, I mean, when I started watching, I was watching all along, on my phone, just looking at the leaderboard. It was going, Rory took a what 3-shot lead, right? And I was like, okay, okay, and then I watched the last maybe 6 holes. I missed the double bogey on 13, and then I watched from 14 on and to the playoff. I mean, that was all that you needed to watch. Like you just look
Yeah.
at the scorecard, you already know what was going on. So
Yeah, so side note, I did PA announcer for Santa Clara Athletics, go Broncos, by the way.
yeah,
Yesterday, Santa Clara softball, they lost to Pacific 5-4, 9 innings. That was a marathon. They made, I think, a pitch change, or I think it was a pitch, like a mound visit, and I decided to turn it on. This was like, I think, in the sixth, seventh inning. Turn it on. Masters.com, best website in sports, streaming wise. Watch the broadcast. I'm like, okay, he's at 13. Just all he needs to do, hit it right. Birdie, he's got this. It's over. I think turned around just because I had announced the batter, and then looked, and then he was just like looking at his wedge. So I didn't use a 10-second putt, and then I saw the shot. I'm like, oh no, this is a roller coaster. But for some reason, Scott Van Pelt said it earlier in the week. I just have a feeling, and destiny awaits, and that's what we saw. Is that he fulfilled that destiny?
yeah. I mean, talk about everyone saying on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, all these videos. It was a roller coaster. He did not dominate to the very end. Rose even took the lead
Yep.
at one point. Um,
Yep.
I mean, shout out to Justin Rose. He got to that first round lead. He was up by 4, I want to say 3 or 4
Yeah. Three
after the first
shots
round, and it
on
looked like
Thursday.
Justin Rose, if he put it together another good round during the second round, it was going to be his probably.
Yeah.
But he let the field back in, big names back into the field. It
Yeah.
was it was one of the greatest Masters in quite a while. But I
Yeah.
mean, give it to Scheffler. I mean, he won it, 2 years, but this was a good one. This was
It was a
fun.
It was good. I really hate that people forgot that the dude won an Olympic gold medal in 2016. I think that gets lost because it was all Zika virus and who wasn't going. He won that gold medal in
And it was the
Rio.
first year for
And it was the first year too.
golf.
Yeah, yeah, first year he outlasted Henrik Stenson. What a throwback name in 2016. But yeah, I would say obviously I don't think anything could top 2019 with Tiger, the return to glory. Another good one is probably '05, that chip in, of course, which was 20 years ago. Can't believe I'm saying that. Um, I'd throw in 2013. Obviously, Adam Scott. That was an entertaining back and
Yeah, that
forth
was
affair
fun.
he had with Angel Cabrera, who returned to the Masters, like we mentioned last week. Yeah, 2004 too, Phil. That was a very underrated one. His first major. Obviously, Ernie Els was in the mix, and yeah, Tiger. I would say obviously the older generations they're going to say 1975 with Jack, and then you had Tom Weiskopf, Johnny Miller, all in the mix, and then '86, of course, with Seve and Greg Norman and Jack. So, but I think in our little bubble, our little cocoon, our generation, I think that's top three instantly.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, when we were doing the preview, it could have been, anyone's Masters. We could
Yeah,
have had a no name, and
yeah.
there really wasn't a no name on the leaderboard basically the whole time.
Yeah. I
Um,
just Golf Channel, man. Oh, Rory versus Bryson, and then you got Corey Connors, my guy, on Saturday at 8 under. I was thinking, oh, this is
Wiley.
gonna end one in three ways: Bryson wins, Rory wins, or then you're just gonna have everybody collapse, and then like a
Yeah,
Corey Connors gets his way into the most exclusive club in all
yeah.
of sports.
I don't consider Corey Connors a
No,
no name. He's
no, he's
been
not.
around. I
No,
know
he's
him.
a no name for all because
The
I have
casuals.
friends that casuals that just what's on four times a year. You see it all the time. That annoys me, man. Where they
Yeah,
post on Wednesday, oh, it's Masters Week. It's like there's this tour's been going on with or without you since January, man. You got to be watching all the products, and these guys don't watch products, man. They don't watch the
yeah.
whole thing. It's like
Um,
looking up at the casual golf fan, and not any all of our people that watch this, by the way, are hardcore golf fans. So we salute. Um, it's like basically, I'm comparing it to like you go on Wikipedia before you watch the movie and you look up what happens on Wikipedia.
IMDb.
Yeah, and then okay, and then we're just gonna watch it Masters because yeah, I mean we know who
Yeah.
the casuals are. I'm sure you see it on your social media feed. I do too. I'm not gonna call any names because that would be rude of me, but you kind of know. Come on, you
It's
kind of
fine.
know. Yeah,
But back to Roy, I mean, how did you feel? I was nervous for Rory, and I was nervous because I'm pretty sure I would have missed that putt too,
yeah,
that Rory had to clinch it on 18.
yeah,
Um, he pulled it left. I think it was Jim Nance. He said that he doesn't take a practice swing once
yeah,
he gets up to the ball. So
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty you know, uh,
I
that's
I
pretty
think the golf
crazy.
god, yeah, I think the golf gods were looking out. I was driving back. I was listening to actually on the radio too. Shout out to PGA Tour Radio, who
Like Tarico?
Mike Tirico, phenomenal job. Dave Marr, they always do a phenomenal job each week. I think just people just don't really know how to listen to golf on the radio, so they have
Yeah,
to visualize it. Johnson Wagner's on there, Taylor Zarzauer, Brad Krechek, yeah, and John McGinnis too, the legend John McGinnis. So they were describing it, and he's like, "Oh, he missed the putt," and then I'm like, "Okay." And then by the time because they prolong these, you have to go turn in your scorecard, and then obviously Roy had to see his family, and then
yeah.
Rose was
Did you
waiting there
see
for
that
an hour.
walk
Yeah,
afterwards? That was
yeah,
a man. I felt so bad for him.
yeah. And then they have to take the cart, go around the Patriots because that
Yeah,
course, the way the course is set up, you have to go around them. And then by the time I got home, it was there. I heard the shots on that sudden death playoff hole.
yeah,
Yeah, I think everybody and their mom and their dad were cheering for Rory. And once I got home, okay, I got home after the game, saw the Justin Rose putt. As soon as within like the first 3 feet, I'm like, yeah, that's going right. He didn't aim it high enough.
yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, yeah, Rory's gonna win this.
I mean, but for Rory to put his shot closer than Rose,
Yeah, yeah. I said
it
his
was
very.
it was over. It
It
was
was the
over.
golf gods looking out for me, wanting to see that moment because
Yeah,
I think it's so big too because 2000 obviously what Tiger did, one of the greatest seasons ever, uh, in comparison to Bobby Jones. But there was no social media. I mean, the coverage windows were vastly different in 2000 compared to now. And then 2025, obviously, we have how many different social media platforms? I mean, even Blue Sky saw it for the first time. And I think that's why this is so hyped up and just it's built into the crescendo because of social media. And obviously, I think Rory, this was the hardest one for any player in that group because of social media. I was just like, hey, what are you going to win? 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 And I think that's what you saw when he just went down to the Augusta green, the 18th green, and you could tell he was screaming, yeah! And then, yeah, that was just really beautiful. Well done, too. I mean, they let that go. When you're in broadcasting like I am, you learn just to know, when moments you just got to let the picture speak for itself. And
Yeah.
it was really well done by CBS.
Yeah, I mean, once he made the putt, he threw his putter, he
Yeah.
got down, on his knees, man.
Yeah.
Just all chills
Yeah.
in that moment, and
Yeah.
see the relief on his face and him
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
hugging. He literally hugged everyone. I don't know how many other people he was gonna hug. He should have just hugged all the patrons at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
He had like five different dudes, but not counting,
they're from
obviously
Ireland, I
Fleetwood.
think, right
Yeah,
at the
not
end.
counting Fleetwood and Rosie and
And
Shea
Shane,
Lowry,
yeah,
Mark Steinberg, who's Tiger's agent, but they obviously have a good relationship with TGA.
yeah.
They're doing, but yeah, they're just some random dudes. I'm like, my parents are asking me, okay, who's that? And I'm trying to guess if that's a manager, a chef,
Yeah, just
psychologist,
trainers,
trainer. I don't
yeah,
know who any of these cats are.
they could be like caddies too,
Caddies, yeah, I did not know who any of those cats are. There
PGA
was a guy like in a
personnel.
there was a guy in a Nike polo. I'm like, that's not Nick Dunlap. What is he doing there? He looked like Nick Dunlap. Like, who's this? I'm sure they're watching this and they're gonna like slide into our DMs on the MPP Live and CFTD Pod and like, oh, this is who I am. But yeah, I was
Yeah,
just I'm like, who are these people?
yeah, he hugged probably 30 people on
Yeah,
his way,
yeah,
and then of course, the guy was like, "Come on, let's go.
yeah.
We gotta get this going, huh?"
There's that saying is that you know how many people love and adore you when they're waiting by you in the grid, and you kind of see that at different major championships. You saw that at the Masters tournament with Rory extinguishing all demons,
Yeah.
uh, finally getting that green jacket.
Whew. I liked too instead of a putt to win the Masters, as a putt to secure the Grand Slam. Man,
They-
that's great. That's
yeah,
awesome. And they had
yeah,
to say it twice, so
yeah, of course.
but yeah,
Well,
that's it was a lot. It was a lot to take in, you
yeah,
know.
and don't forget, we could have two more. Jordan,
Yeah, I
your
was
turn
gonna
today.
I
Phil,
was
it could be your turn in June at
yep.
Oakmont. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was gonna mention it. Do we think there will be another career Grand Slam this year? That would be crazy if Jordan won the PGA and Phil won the US Open.
Yeah, Jordan, I think everything showed up except for his driver. That driver was all over the place, and you know how bad it was when he had to yell out an F-bomb. 'Cause Jordan, obviously he gets mad, everybody gets mad, but usually he's pretty, controlled, and I think Mikey Greller talks about it, but he yells an F-bomb. He forgot what he said, but I can't get over this effing shot, and I heard it on the radio on the way to the baseball game,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh shit, yeah,
yeah,
he said that. I'm like, dang, Jordan.
yeah. Michael Greller was get over
Yeah, get over it. But yeah, usually you
it.
don't see Jordan that animated.
He
Um,
he also had some comments about Augusta afterwards, which I don't think people appreciated from the green jacket
Mudball,
committee, huh?
Mudball,
Yeah,
Mudball. Yeah, I think it was just frustration. I think they still love him out there. So I think it was just
yeah.
more of frustration. I think this is when he thought he could reintroduce himself, literally, like the Jay-Z song. Um,
You don't talk about Jay-Z.
oh, sorry. Oh. I mean that rapper from New York City, from Brooklyn. No, what I'm getting at is that this. I think he thought this was going to be the tournament that he was going to peak at, especially with his form that he had. You were starting to see it build and build, and then I thought he was going to be part more of the conversation. Then Thursday, Friday, he was just stuck in neutral pretty much. Couldn't get that putt going, and then had mudball like
Yeah.
50 billion times. But Yeah, I think he's got to get that driver situation if he wants to have a legitimate shot at the PGA, which, by the way, nobody's completed the career Grand Slam at the PGA Championship, so that's the only major.
Wow,
Yeah,
fun fact, huh?
yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, and then Phil Mickelson, I don't know. He's just got to put it all together for 4 rounds. It's going to be very tough for
Yeah,
him, but I thought he would have a better showing
yeah,
at the Masters after
he
coming
hit it
off.
in the yeah, hit it in the drink on 15, and then all the energy just zapped out of him. I think it has to be depending on the course with the U.S. Open. Maybe Pebble in a couple years. But yeah, it depends on the course. I think he has one more good run in him. Like his exemption from the PGA Championship runs, I believe, until next year. So I think next year's in Shinnecock Hills. Uh, but it depends on the course for him. I think he still thinks he can bomb it, and I think I saw him hit some drives that were pretty good for a guy in his 50s. But yeah, it depends on the course, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say not likely. What just got from you and I, not
Yeah,
likely.
we'll see. We'll see, though. You
We'll
never
see,
say
but
never.
anything can happen.
Yeah.
I guess before we look at the whole leaderboard, we're going to go through some notable miscuts and how our people did. Very interesting how Bryson said in the interview after his round, he was asked if Rory talked to him, and he said, "No, he didn't talk to me." And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are making this a big deal, but
Yeah.
like this dude is going for the career Grand Slam. Like Tiger didn't even talk to, people in his group for the longest time until recently. But dude, just let him do his thing. He had so much other stuff going on, he's the first player to win the Masters, uh making more than one double bogey, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, just let him live, you know? Like who cares?
Yeah, I think, and this goes back to our junior golf days, and we were talking about it at work earlier today. There's some kids, and I'm just going to be straight up real, and I'm not going to name names, obviously, but we're just going to be straight up real here. There's
Tom.
some kids, there's some kids I didn't like playing with. Maybe Patrick some of the times, I don't know. We didn't really we got paired up a lot, but just having friendly banter, birdies and banter. But there's some kids like, you just right away when you look at the tee sheet, oh, great,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be as talkative. So I kind of just have that experience, play with kids I really did get along with, or I'm not going to go, hang out with afterwards. Um, who cares? Nobody, they're not going to be best friends. They're not going to sing Kumbaya, hold my hand, not going to exchange Christmas cards. I think that it's just blown out of proportion. I think if you've ever been play competitive golf, which Pat and I have for, gosh, over a decade now, going back to junior golf, 15 plus years, um, when you kind of know when to leave somebody alone, especially if they're going through a rough stretch of holes and then when the return. I don't know if Bryson kind of, I think he thought, oh yeah, me and Rory, we're gonna
Yeah.
talk, you know,
Was this gonna be YouTube golf,
yeah, YouTube golf. Oh, we're gonna
Nothing
ask
against
how the,
YouTube golf. I love YouTube golf, but
yeah,
Bryson is very talkative.
we're gonna ask how the family is, and we're
Yeah.
gonna sing songs. And oh, dude, this is the final round of a major championship, the Masters, and I think you're going to see that at any PGA Tour event too. And
Yeah.
I know Brandel Chambly said something too on live from yet last night. Whether this is true or not, that's for him to speak on. But he said it's still icy between some PGA Tour players and obviously the live and what happened, and obviously there's some roads and relationships that need to be repaired and built. Yeah,
Some
rebuilt.
R&R.
R&R. Yeah,
Roads and relationships.
roads and relationships.
No, I mean I get it, but Brandel
Yeah,
Chambly, that does sound like something he would say, just like stir the
yeah. I think it
pot a
was
little
just
bit.
started up, but yeah,
Stir the
that it
pot.
was just blown out of proportion, and yeah, I
Yeah.
think the only thing he needs to be talking to is his irons because there were some wayward iron shots. I've never seen him hit as many wayward iron shots in the
Yeah.
time that I've watched him since he was at SMU.
Yeah. Rory's second shot on 15 has to be one of the great shots in history of
Put a
the
plaque right there. Yes, 15. What's gonna get overlooked is 17 as well. With that one,
I can't believe how
yeah.
much. top spin he got on 17's tee shot. It was a hup. I was trying to, trying to put that into my game. How do you
Yeah,
hit an uphill shot and have it bounce forward?
yeah.
That's crazy. I don't understand.
It's the ball, man. The tailor-made Roars ball, no number.
TP5X.
By the way, did
He
somebody pick
switched. He,
out?
he switched to TP5, I think.
Yeah, did somebody pick up the ball from the hole? I think it was his caddy, huh? Because nobody, I think everybody was focused on him, on the ground, and
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
'cause I think I saw his caddy like pick it up for him and then slid it in his pocket. That's a valuable piece of property now,
Mhm.
so
That's
we'll
true.
make sure that goes to him and not to some guy on eBay.
Yeah, $1 million.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah, he's I just want to be like Rory. I want to be that good at
we all want to be
golf.
like Rory.
Yeah. Uh, that was crazy. I
Yeah,
loved every second of it. All right, let's get to all the people that did bad, huh?
early flights home, baby. That's what we call this segment. Early flights home.
Hey, they probably had a, little drive to Hilton Head, get there early,
Or if they're on live, they have to wait a couple weeks till they go to Mexico City.
kick up their feet.
Yep.
Yeah. So, um, your boy Patrick Reed, huh?
Hey, people doubted me when I met that guy at Golf Mart a couple years ago. He shows up for this tournament, man. That's like I think his fifth straight top 20 finish, and now he's going to be exempt for I think the PGA too. He's inside the top 100, 49th in the world now. So, and by the way, we mentioned it's a Ryder Cup year too. So, who knows? He might
Interesting.
sneak in a captain's pick from Keegan Bradley.
Yeah, Aubert, he had another good showing, but he did triple on the last hole. That was tough to watch. A little, probably iced some people behind him, but Aubert losing out on $500,000 for triple bogeying the last hole.
Yeah,
Zach Johnson had a great round on
man.
round three.
He turned back the clock like it was 2007. I,
Yeah,
I was watching the early coverage because, some of the, on Saturday, and then he was just making a move. I'm like, what is this, 2015 Zach Johnson? So
yeah.
good on him. I know he's been battling some injuries it looks like on his arm and wrist and stuff like that. But yeah, man, good on him. And of course, that's that Masters experience.
Yeah, Max Homa making the cut. Probably the surprising. He went 74-70 to make the cut. Good for him. Hopefully he finds something, I think that was a big storyline of him finishing a tournament under par.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened in quite a while. I think since last year.
Yes, it's the Open last year at,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyone else you see? I had John Rahm. He had a horrible first round.
Yeah,
I thought he was
good.
gonna miss the cut, so
Yeah, good bounce back round. Terrell Hatton, I mean, the guy was gonna spoil the party, the Mad Hatter for everybody. And then I don't know what happened on the back nine, man. He was just, I don't know if lack of focus. He missed like a 2 to 3 footer. I believe it was on 17 or 16 or 15. I don't know what happened. But he tends to play well at the Masters, so he'll be back.
yeah, Aaron Wright had the first round lead. He was up to
Yep,
five, I think, the first
yep,
day, and
yep.
I would put Aaron Ryan someone that would be a no name, Tommy Two Gloves, uh, you know,
Yeah.
prodigy.
Yeah, good to see Daniel Berger. He's still playing well after coming back from surgery, and I feel like he's gonna at least get a win, maybe in the middle, those 3M Open or Rocket Mortgage Classic type of events there.
Yeah, my boy Sahith, even,
Yeah,
just that's it, even.
still learning to play big events, big boy golf, as I call it.
Yeah, I don't think his game's like really there since
Yeah,
last year. Joaquin Neiman, another guy that was in the lead first round. Thought he was gonna take off, but he had a couple bogeys on the stretch and he
yeah.
didn't recover. Brian Campbell, shout out to him. His first Masters makes the
Hey,
cut.
welcome to the show.
Yeah,
As Michael Kim too, that we just passed as well. He made the cut, one under, tied for T 27. I can't talk. It's been Mondays, folks. Case of the
it's a
Monday.
lot, man. It's a
Yeah,
lot. T20. Justin
Rasmus
Thomas.
Højgaard, yeah, Corey Carter, Rasmus Højgaard beating his brother, making the cut. I don't know how Nikolai feels about that since he missed the cut, but
Isn't Rasmus the better brother? Anyways,
uh
I think what is that? What they said? Like Nikolai made the PGA first, but
yeah,
he
he's ranked higher. I don't know. I need to see more of them because I see both of them like alternate like between DP World Tour. One will play there, and then they like cross flights, and then yeah. So I need to see more of their games for me to give an accurate analysis on both of their games.
yeah, my boy Akshay didn't have a great second round, third round.
Yeah.
So still learning.
Danny Willett, I
Danny
guess he switched
Willett.
to Cobra. I didn't realize he was with Callaway for eon. So Danny Willett. I know he passed Justin Thomas. It just seemed like he didn't have his game at all, which was kind of disappointing. But the good news is he's defending at or he's going back to the place where he won his first major in May, Quail Hollow Country Club.
Yeah. Uh, Shane Lowry, tough. After
Yeah.
no one wanted he didn't want to talk about Rory in his post game interview after the second round.
Yeah, 81. That's an ouch.
Yeah, but he was there. All right, all the people that missed the cut: Dustin Johnson, Russell Henley, Derrick, Russell Henley, huh?
Yeah, just that bad first round, and then came back second round. I really thought the cut would move because I feel like there's always this conspiracy, especially when Tiger played too, when he was struggling to find his form after injuries. Like, okay, they're gonna move it just for Tiger. They're always gonna move it just for Tiger. I
Yeah,
honestly thought that they would move it for Berhard longer and Fred Couples because they played solid golf on Friday, believe it or not.
yeah. Freddie had a chance too.
Yeah, just a couple putts and just bad shots on around Amen Corner on the hole 13 for both of them.
Yeah, Keegan Bradley, Justin Hastings, low AM didn't make the cut though. Does it still
Yeah.
count?
No, you have to make the cut to get
You have to
the
make the
silver
cut.
cup, silver
Yeah,
medal.
that sucks. Better
Rafa
luck next year.
Campos, inspirational story. It was just good to see him finally get to play in the Masters. If you guys don't know his story, please go watch it on ESPN. I know he won the same week that his daughter was born in Bermuda. It was really inspirational story and continue
Oh,
to.
was that the guy who he was in $100,000 worth of debt and he won?
Yeah, yeah, Rafa Campos, man.
Nice. Good for
Pride
him.
of Puerto Rico, yeah.
Tony Finau, Brooks Koepka, Adam Scott, Sepp Straka, Cam
Yeah.
Smith. Hey,
Billy
look at these
Horschel,
people. Billy Horschel, Philly.
Bill, early flight home. Kevin Yu, I had in my pool. Miscut. And shout out to Nick Taylor, got me a Starbucks gift card at our work pool. So thank you, Nick. I owe you a iced caramel latte when you come back to Pebble, my friend.
Dude, I didn't win anything in that pool. I'm kind of sad, but I do
Yeah,
like how they did it this year instead
yeah,
of getting a random
yeah,
player named to you. But yeah, Cam Young, Lucas Glover, Will Zalatoris,
yeah. He's still trying to find his
Thomas
game.
Dietrich,
Ma-
Pavon.
Matthew Pavone, I mean, he had one of the a breakout year last year, and then
Yeah.
he was like John Cena.
Yep.
Can't.
Shout out to Jose Luis Ballester for peeing in the river in the creek,
Come
Race
on.
Creek.
I don't know if he's gonna be back, man. That's gonna be a long road back to Augusta National if
Yeah,
he.
he didn't seem too sorry about it either.
And then the hat controversy too that people were all up in arms about.
Who cares, dude?
Uh,
Dude, that's like the style. Like, I don't know.
yeah, why have we become a society obsessed with what people wear and what their chonies are, what socks they're wearing? Come on, man. And I know that Jason Day too got his like wardrobe check.
Thrifting, yeah.
Yeah, pre Masters. I don't know.
Yeah. It was too crazy for him. But shout out to Nick Dunlap, the only player to go under par and like all these players before him. Too bad he shot 90 the first day.
Hey, he could have done the easy move, which is pack him up and I'll see you next year. But he hung in there and shot a 71. So kudos to Nick Dunlop for just hanging in there. And he's still getting his game around, these big events. And I'd see him contending in one of these in the future. But like I said, he's what, second full season on the tour, fresh out of college too. So he's learning, man. He'll bounce back.
Yeah. And that is it.
Yeah. Laurie Cantor too, former Live player, now playing. I think he's trying to get status on the PGA Tour, but he got in via world ranking points, so he's trying to get the road back to the PGA Tour, which I think I have the logo here somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah,
Oh,
pretty good.
jeez. Is that a sticker?
No, this is actually put on, son, right there. That's the logo. I'm probably gonna get sued now once we post this. So I got no lawyers, Augusta National, so don't sue. Don't sue. I'm not gonna wear this on the grounds. Don't sue, baby.
Oh, jeez. Derek first wears a black jacket that he claimed
Always
was
agreed.
green, and now he's
That's why
wearing
we gotta do this at
Timu
7:30
apparel.
in the morning, not 8:30 at night. At 7:30 in the morning, so that way we're fresh as daisies.
Oh man. But that is it. That's the Masters. What a great first major to start off the year. What do we got next? PJ?
PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, a course I've been to back in 2016. Kind of similar shape like Augusta, except there's a lot more water hazards, so you're not going to be able to escape that. Greens are kind of similar speed. Good finish, the green mile down there, 16, 17, and 18. It's gonna be another good PGA. One thing I like about the PGA too is that the teaching pros, the ones that have their PGA license get to play and qualify for this. We saw
Yeah.
that story with Michael Block at Oak Hill. Could be anybody's tournament. Rory, I don't know how his energy is, man. When you go
Yeah.
through so many emotions, that's gonna be a popular pick. JT. I would not be surprised to see Max Homa surprise contention because he was one there before. So it should be a fun event down in the Queen City, as they call it, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, and again we'll have the preview like we did and a recap like this one. So
Yeah.
gonna have to study up these next tournaments, see whose game you know, gets better, gets worse, Gotta do more homework, study the field.
Got to watch film on the GOATs. Sean McKeel, Y.E. Yang going to be playing. Rich Beam, the former PGA champions. Jimmy Walker. We're going to be watching
Nice.
film on all that. And by the way, happy Easter to everybody out there. Hope you have a good and happy Easter. It's on 420, by the way. So do what you want. And
Hey man.
yeah, it's on WrestleMania too. So those
Wow.
three
There's
combinations. Yeah, just
there's a
be
lot
safe
going
out
on.
there. Be safe out there.
All right, that's a wrap. We'll see everyone in the next one.
Later.